Welcome back to the River Valley Redneck. Today I'm going to do a little talking about deer hunting etiquette. With deer season started up, we're getting ready to go into the gun seasons, muzzleloading and modern gun here in Arkansas. Need to talk a little bit about deer hunting etiquette. Now, a lot of people will hunt different ways. I hunt in a tree stand mostly. I do the hunt and stalk every once in a while, just walking around trying to find deer trails and things. A lot of people do that, and some people hunt out of blinds. I'll do that every once in a while. And mainly when you're doing a walk and stalk, if you're out there walking in the middle of the woods in an area and you walk up on somebody and you notice them, or they get your attention and let you know that they're there, don't just keep traipsing and tromping through the woods on them. You know, you're ruining their hunt is what you're doing. So you want to gently back out as quietly as you can and go around them. And a lot of people, I've had quite a few experiences to where people will just keep walking right on past me. They see me, they know I'm there, and they'll just keep walking right past me and pretty much blow my hunt for an hour or so. And that's just not right. You need to be respectful of other hunters. You know, we're all out there in the woods to do the same thing, to try to get an animal, but we do need to be respectful of everybody out there. And if you're driving around looking for a spot to hunt and you see a vehicle parked, move on to the next spot. Don't go in there and you're not sure where they're at. They could be 50 yards off the road. They could be 300 yards off the road. You don't know. So don't go into that little area that they're in and mess up their hunt. You know, there's plenty of deer in the woods. You can find them just by driving around if you want. You know, you don't have to go in and invade somebody else's area just because, hey, they did the work, they did the time, put the time and effort into it and found a place to hunt, and now they're in there hunting and you know there's probably deer in there. Well, find your own deer. Be respectful to them. And I've had incidences like when I was about 16 years old. I was hunting at an army base that's a draw hunt. You have to put in for a permit. And I'm out there hunting just after daylight, hunting over a little pond. I got a nice 10-point sitting there taking a drink out of the pond, and I'm getting ready to put the hammer down on him. And just over the hill, next thing I know, there's a guy dressed in full orange, head to toe. He comes running over the hill, shouting and screaming, "Don't shoot! That deer has a right to live!" Yeah, well, that deer lived that day, unfortunately. He took off running, and it's a good thing that I was able to hold my composure, because some people may not have, and they may have found that guy out there unalive somewhere. But we went to the base and went up to the people who were running it, and they said as long as this guy bought his permit, he was good to go out there on the base. There was nothing they could do about it because he was legally there. You know, and you'll run into instances like that where people are just, you know, jerks, and they will mess up your hunt on purpose. Don't let it get to you. But I know it's hard, but don't let it get to you. You know, you got other hunts you can do, and but just try to be respectful of everybody out there in the woods, and don't mess up their hunting, you know, intentionally. You know, unintentionally, I know it's gonna happen eventually. If you're walking through the woods, you're eventually gonna probably walk up on somebody. Just try to do everything that you can to minimize the damage that you do to their hunt. And I understand it, you know, it may not follow with your game plan of wanting to go from point A to point B. Just be respectful of them and, you know, be considerate, and don't mess up their hunt any more than is absolutely necessary. You know, I've done it before to where I've gone through the woods and I've come up on somebody and I see them, and they'll give me a quick wave. I'll give them, you know, a quick wave, let them know I seen them, and then I'll either shoot to the right or the left or back out completely and go way around them by several hundred yards. and that way I'm not messing up their deer hunt too much. And I'm pretty sure they're thankful for that, you know, that someone out there is actually being mindful of them and, you know, not intentionally blowing their hunt. And it happens to everybody, and it will. And another thing is, I was up hunting one day, and there was a guy, he's probably a good 400 or 500 yards. I didn't know he was there. And I heard him shoot. And seen the deer running. Never saw where it dropped. I just seen the deer running. And a little while later, here he comes through the woods. Well, you know, I understand he's out looking for his deer, so I didn't have a problem with it. You know, and a matter of fact, I got down out of my tree stand and I walked over to him and I offered to help him look for his deer, and we went and looked for his deer and found his deer. You know, and me and everybody I hunt with are pretty much the same way on that. You know, if we see a hunter looking for a deer and we can help, we're going to jump in and we're going to help. And we'll help drag them out of the woods. We'll help do whatever we can, you know, because we try to help other hunters because we know how it is, you know, especially dragging a deer out of the woods is really tough sometimes, you know, depending on the terrain. And if you don't have a four-wheeler or anything like that, it can get really hard. And, you know, just try to be respectful of everybody, try to be mindful of everybody, and be helpful when you can. You know, I mean, I knew it was late enough in the day that I knew that my day was, you know, just about done anyway, so I didn't care to get down and help at all. You know, I mean, I got another hunt that evening. It's no big deal. I got another hunt the next morning if I want. So, you know, I go out and I'll help people when I can, and you need to, you know, keep that in the back of your mind. If you need help one day, hopefully somebody will be kind enough to help you. You know, that's kind of the way I look at it. Is, you know, maybe someday I'm going to need some help, and somebody's going to be nice enough to offer their hand, and, you know, lend a hand to help me. So, with that, I'm going to call it a day, and I think I'm going to get ready for my deer season coming up. Y'all have a good one.